Huawei replaced 13,000 parts and redesigned circuit boards to avoid U.S. sanctions. Huawei may never be as prominent as it once was, but CEO Ren Zhengfei claims the business has stabilized. Yeah, you don't hear about Huawei very much anymore, and they were just booming. Now,
they made great phones here.
Honor is making sort of a comeback, and obviously that was a sub-brand, alternate brand of Huawei, and I know they sort of reconfigured their business workings where Honor itself can get around certain sanctions, but the head brand, Huawei, on the other hand, not so much, at least outside of China. In China, I think they've figured out a way to exist. Are you making that expression because of how much that looks like an Apple store? Is that what you're doing?
No.
Oh.
I've never seen a Huawei store before.
Well, you wouldn't have one here.
Yeah. Like even in pictures. So it's nice to see their design language here.
Which is basically Apple.
It's kind of like Apple.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's
like Google. It's like
they're not the only one.
Store.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say about Google is Google goes a little bit more texture. Like they don't mind carpets and colors.
A little bit more
patterns. And like italics, and they're just a little funkier. I gave Google a few more notches on funky as part of their minimal.
Okay.
Like Apple's not funky. Like you wouldn't visit Apple's house and be like, "Oh, this is kind of funky." You would just be like, "Whoa, this is stark. It's
sophisticated in a way,
but not funky.
Not funky.
If you went to Google's house, you'd be like, eh.
There's some accents of funky.
Exactly.
And that's enough. That's enough for Will.
Well, I'm just saying. And then, I don't know, I'm trying to think of some other.
Yeah.
I mean, gamer. Like, gamer aesthetic is on the other full end of the spectrum. RGB and angular. It's interesting. Just a few years ago, Huawei was riding high on the increasing success of its consumer and enterprise products. It was securing deals to deploy 5G networks worldwide, and it briefly reached the apex of the smartphone market with more shipments than either Samsung or Apple then. U.S. sanctions brought it tumbling back to earth. Chinese mega corporation hasn't given up, though, according to CEO Ren Zhengfei. Huawei has replaced and redesigned thousands of components in its products, allowing it to continue operating in the face of U.S. sanctions. Ren explained that the company's reaction to the sanctions at a recent address at Nanjing University. In the newly released transcript, Ren says that Huawei had to find local replacements for 13,000 components that it could no longer source because of trade restrictions. So this is them actually getting parts, not necessarily what they're shipping out, but the parts that they need in order to actually manufacture the products that they were manufacturing. It redesigned 4,000 circuit boards for its products. It has also developed its own mobile operating system, Harmony OS, which we talked about a lot when it was all going down. However, it's technically not completely new. It is a fork of Android. Anyway, he says that the company is stabilizing now, and it's going to be around in a different way. It is not going to be what it was, certainly abroad.
But will it ever come back? Probably not, right?
In North America?
Yeah.
Remember they had a huge sponsorship deal with hockey. Rogers? Whatever it was.
Yeesh.
Well, listen, I don't know. Maybe there's a way for them to meet the necessary criteria, but if you look at the language around TikTok and ByteDance, like as far as their 5G business installed with the user base, like infrastructure type stuff, antennas, I don't know about all that. I think Cat might be out of the bag on that one.